All right, we're just going to lock this into the vise to be my second pair of hands. Is anybody going to tell me what the steering wheel is off of yet? We've thrown that out there a couple times. Put in the comments. What is that steering wheel off of? Then I'll tell you the significance of it, why I have it, and why I put it there. It's not going to stay there, but it has a significance. Some memories are attached to that. So what is that off of? Put it in the comments. All right, so in the last video, if you watched the tie rod ends, this is part 2. I'm going to be installing these new ones, and it took 6 days to get them here. But again, you know, I could have got them locally from the local parts store I've been dealing with for 40-something years. But here I've gotten 2 for less than the price of 1 from a local parts jobber. So you got to cut some corners somewhere, and it is solid, and it matches the originals perfectly. But what I didn't like is no grease fittings. And I did mention in the last video, in the description for this product line, it showed a cotter pin, the nut, and a grease fitting to go in there. Well, guess what? You're not getting one. So I thought, you know what? I can't wait another 6 days and send these back. And so anyways, I know a fix, and I can live with it. So I take this off. I've already greased it. I've already done this tie rod end, but I'm going to show you how I did it so that you can do it as well. Now, you got to be very, very careful in how you do this. And I would recommend not puncturing the boot, but I've got grease in there now, and not too much, but enough to bring the boot out, because it was completely flat. If there was one swipe of grease in that knuckle inside there with a paintbrush, I would say that's about all was in there. And that's not going to last a year. It's going to grind itself out in about a year to, at the most, I would say 18 months if you're lucky. So when we're done, we've got to have an elegant. So you're going to have to stick around and find out what an elegant is in a few moments. Okay, so 2 things we need. I need my grease fitting box, which is right here, along with my wheel bearing grease and heavy duty grease. And this is I call this my little favorite box, because it has every grease fitting and extra fittings for my grease gun. And one of my favorite things is my needle greaser. And you can get these, and you want to make sure you keep that, because you do not want to poke yourself with this thing. So what I do is, you see that's a grease fitting? So you're going to put your grease gun on there. Do I need to show you how to do that? Maybe. Maybe we better do that to show you. So I always keep my grease guns here in this location. So what I'm going to do is, just going to put that up there. That covers my vise. Is you unthread this. It releases the jaws of life. And then I'm going to screw this together, and it should grip it. And it's got it, see? It's in there solid. So now what I do is I'm very careful to how I place this down between the boot, because the boot has a spring clip on it. Don't mess that up. But this will find its way in there if you're really, really careful. I'm in. See that? I'm in. And I know I'm in. So then I just take and I grease till I see the boot swelling up. Now don't go crazy on it. And see, now that, because I've threaded down my grease coupler onto the Zerk, onto the needle greaser, I can use the hose to bring it back out. So make sure you go straight in, not off on an angle, and come out through the boot. Because if this goes through the boot, I've seen it where it doesn't always reseal itself. That's why I go down through the top. So I'll show you again. Get it in there. Don't get it into the rubber. Get it under the collar. And then feed it in there and hold it. Don't let it wiggle around. Hold it. And then just shoot the grease in and watch. Oops, that came right off of there. Hey, that came right off of there. That never happens. No, it doesn't. It doesn't happen. Trust me. I always argue with it. So you don't want that to go through the side of the boot. Otherwise, now you're going to have some serious problems. So I'm pulling this out now. Like that. Pull it straight up. we fell in there a little bit, but I was watching it. So don't, here's what I'm going to tell you, fellas. A little bit of grease is good. A whole lot more grease is not good. If you overextend this boot, it's going to split. So you just want enough that when I see how I can poke it, I can feel there's grease in there and I can feel there's some air space. There's some, so I don't have the thing like swollen up like a marshmallow. There is room for more grease. But I've got enough in there that that should not be a problem having to be greased again for the duration. And what I mean there is for whatever term this product lasts. I don't know the product, I know the name, but we never know who owns the companies anymore because the big fish swallow the little fish, and companies we used to deal with, product line, I know that now they don't have grease fittings anymore. Your guess is as good as mine. So you can get a needle greaser at many parts stores. I usually have two because you can easily break one. And here's the other thing. Yes, I have an air greaser right here. I don't use it as much as I used to use it on big rigs, Peterbilts and Max. It puts a lot of grease out. And in this particular case, what you're doing is you don't want to overcharge this boot and put pressurized grease in there. You'll split the boot. And if the grease starts coming up around here, you've overcharged it. Now, if grease is pushing its way out, that means dirt, water, and everything's going to get in. You've ruined it. It's done. Question?
Where does the grease come from?
It comes from the grease gun. It comes from the grease fairies.
Magic.
It's magical. You order a container, and you open it, and look, fairy grease. This is heavy duty grease, this stuff. This is really, really good. I use Quaker State wheel bearing grease. I use the golden grease. Excellent. I like this product a little better because you use it on equipment. It's heavy duty and it's super high performance EP grease, and it doesn't wash off. So this is a lighter grease. I use it for specific applications, but I really like the Castrol EP grease because it's good for equipment. So I don't have to change the cartridge all the time and go from one to the other. And I'm missing my Lincoln grease gun, which is a red one. I don't know where it went or who borrowed it, but it didn't return, and I ended up having to buy this grease gun, and I'm not thrilled with it, but it works. So that's how you can do this same procedure I just showed you to a ball joint, upper or lower. Do the same procedure before you put it in, and do it, my recommendation, you do it by hand so you can feel the squeeze and how much you're sending through the grease gun. Because again, you over grease it till the boot is too swollen and it's pushing grease out here, you've ruined this before you even put it in. And I wouldn't, at that point, I wouldn't put it in because I'm going to be changing it. And when you're paying to have an alignment done, an alignment, I call it an alignment. If you pay to have an alignment done, and then that boot rips open, and you're going to have to change it in less than a year, you're paying for another alignment. And it's not worth taking a chance. I can usually put a front end back pretty close to what it was at the factory, but I can't guarantee that either. I can't. So just take it easy. Little grease is good. A whole lot more doesn't mean better. It means you're gonna super extend this boot. And I don't know the quality of this boot. It does feel pretty decent. Like I said, I don't know the product, but I know I've got grease in there, and away we go. We take it from there. So I hope you got something out of that. That's how I do it. Even on the vehicle, I can grease it if I have to, but if I've pre-charged whatever steering component I'm going to be working with, so again, if I'm putting in ball joints, I'm putting in tie rod ends that have boots on, I'm going to pre-charge it before I even install it. So when I'm done, like I said, there's more than enough grease in here to get this this aftermarket tie rod end as far as I can take it. So take your time, get yourself a needle greaser, get an extra one at the same time, fellas, because if you're not used to working with it, you probably will break the first one. Or if you overcharge it, you'll spit the Zerk fitting right out of this collar. And this collar is actually crimped to the Zerk fitting, and I can show you that right here so you get a good bird's eye view. That's what's in there. Right there. That's what's in there. It goes into that little pot, and then they crimp it. But this is a great little tool, let me tell you. This is fabulous. I can't live without one of these. So I will, when I put an order in, I will get probably 2 more of these. I use it all the time because nothing is coming in with grease fittings in anymore. And I tried. So leave in the comments, what is this steering wheel off of? What do you think it's off of? And like I said, it has sentimental value to me and from the person that gave it to me and the car that it came off of. So let me know in the comments, what's it off of, and try and be as specific as possible. So make and model. I'm excited to see who will come up with the answer on that. Another question.
What, the year?
And the year. So make, model, and year. The trifecta. Skippy kicking that one in. Got to give us the year. Pretty close. Pretty close on that. So make, model, and year. That steering wheel. Let me know in the comments. So I hope that helps you out. We're going to get these tie rod ends installed, torqued to spec, tightened up, ready for the truck to get an alignment done. And we're going to get the front wheels on. And then the last thing now is we need to check and inspect the rear brakes. And then we've gone through the whole thing. And that's a spring evaluation. That's what it takes. Is if anything that you're looking at or inspecting is questionable, just change it. Because you know what will happen if you don't? It's going to come back and it's going to bite you right somewhere there. Back there. Over here. Yeah, where the dog can tend to find it. The biting point. So we'll see you in the next one. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed. If you haven't, please like, share, follow, and most of all, subscribe. And I can't say it. I almost did, but I won't say it, because watch the end of the video. You'll see what I'm not supposed to say, because Skippy says we already say that, so you can't say it again. So we'll see you in the next one. Happy, healthy motoring, and peace, patience, and kindness always. And check out all our program partners that make this video and all of them available to you at no charge. That's at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com, ccbusnet.com. All the information, everything I talk about is in the description of the video. So check it out. I put a lot of extra nuggets there. Bye for now. Oh, I almost forgot. Oh, yeah. The weather bell. I know you're enjoying the videos. Don't forget to ring the bell.